This is Sangy Davis. It's time for the lion to Ika. For unity is strength. Let us come together, my brethren and sisters, and forward to the motherland. Enough love. And this is the lion's voice.
Highly.
Jah
Ras
Tafari.
Tafari
I'm Nana Farika. The time has come for the lioness to tell her story from her viewpoint and tell the world who Queen Omega is. This is the lion's voice.
So yeah, when I arrived in school, it didn't surprise me that the girls just the first question they asked me was, "Which country in Africa do you rule?" Okay, that's my first question ever when I entered a public space in this country. So that was it. Everything is set. I nearly got beaten that night, because I went home. I said to the girls, "Oh, you definitely have to wait until tomorrow. I'm not answering you today. You have to wait until tomorrow. So you think about it." And because of course those girls their parents had properties in Kenya, in Tanzania, and in Ghana. Their parents had properties or were, diplomats in these countries. So they knew because they were going there for their summer holidays or some of their summer holidays. So they knew what African people looked like, So they just immediately, it wasn't a put down. It was a rulership, you understand? Not what I was experiencing in Jamaica.
Wow.
So my immediate thing was I went that night to the library. After school, I raced into the library, man. I went to study Africa, okay, because I wanted to choose which kingdom I ruled in. I'm telling you, I nearly got beaten that night, man, because my mom, she couldn't believe that that was my first day in school. Okay, she told me, "Your first day in school and you come home late?" The first thing that got me was this, okay, in Jamaica. In my family, I was not even known by my name too much because, especially in those days, it was very important what color, shade you were, in growing up. And even in my own family, I came with all the maroon things, whereas the rest of the family didn't have it, you see. So my grandmother, when she told me the story later on, when I told her, when I asked about why people were prejudiced against me, she said, when you were 5, you asked me that question. She said, and I told you the same thing I'm telling you now when you're 10 years old. And that the question, the answer is, it's because you carry the wealth of the nation. That's why
Wow.
you will always have that. And so it was a completely new experience, brethren. Okay.
Wow.
And they got up and went. They said, "Oh, we're going over the ISIS now. Anytime you're ready, just come." Right? And they went. And I sat there in the room and I was just, checking out this place. It was so grand. Bridget, I tell you, it was very grand because, the bed was, nicely made up with one of those satin sheets. And she had a dresser, right, with the crochet things on this, the style, right, the
Yes.
crochet things and these ornaments on it, right. And as I sat on the bed and laid back in my heights, in my heavens, I started looking around the room and admiring these 2 pieces of furniture. Then I saw the wall was made of newspaper. I was like, "What?" The wall, did you hear me? The wall
Yes.
was made of newspaper and cardboard, man. I was admiring this beautiful place that I was in without looking at the walls and without looking. And now that my eyes were open, I was like in shock. And then the next thing, I looked down on the floor to rot and it was sand. It was sand on the ground, I'm telling you, Bridget, I had some big culture shock, man. You know what I mean? It's really seriously like, whoa, Okay. And then, before I could kind of catch myself into, it wasn't prejudicial or judgmental or nothing. I was just amazed that I thought this was the most beautiful place in the world. I was so comfortable inside there. I was so comforted. I was so airy, right? And then I saw that. So it's like, whoa, okay. Oh, yeah, you can be airy without this, without that. There's a whole bunch of stories and treatments. Just to know that at Tough Gong, I just say should just say this, because Bob Marley, Tough Gong was the first international Rastafari company that had only Rastafari people working inside there in Jamaica. And it was really a fantastic role because there were so many reggae music was just coming up. It was just happening. A lot of artists didn't have any idea about publishing or anything like that. So as soon as they came in, and then Virgin was signing people. So as soon as they were signed, I was on to their publishing, setting up their publishing for them so that people could make money, from their music and from their songs and from their works, So that was exciting. So there I was as a music publisher, and I know all the record companies now. Island was my, and Drop Off Tapes. We were almost on the same street, Virgin and Island, in Ladbroke Grove. And so dropping off the tape, I'd pick my son from nursery. He was 2 years old. Pick him from nursery and then go to Island and drop off the tapes. Usually, as soon as I arrive in the door, he's in the company somewhere because nobody's seen a dreadlocks 2-year-old boy before, And so it was like, wow, he was just, and he was very bright and he was ready to talk to anybody, no matter what. He's got my DNA going on. I see it in my grandchildren now, bold as anything. They don't care about it. They care what you look like. They're talking to you if they want to. You know what I mean? Like this. And so, so then I couldn't find him. And Denise Mills, Chris Blackwell's secretary, said, Bob Marley's in the studio, That's probably where he is. So he spent all the time looking for him. Couldn't find him anywhere in the company. So as I went to the door, there was Bob Marley saying, this is my youth, my youth, this, my youth, this. So I knew immediately that you must be talking about my son. So when I got to the door of the studio, my son is sitting on Bob's lap. And I see him, and he's just picked me up because my son is like that. Even in his adult times now, I just, if we're in the same environment, I just have to think about him, and he's right there in front of me like this, like this. So yeah, so it was like that. As soon as I looked in the room, he saw me, but he just switched back himself. So Bob said, "Are you mad at that?" He said it loudly so I could hear him. Right? At the door. So my son must have said yes. I could hear what my son, but he must have said yes. He just turned around. Bob Marley just turned around to me and he said, "Am I you this, Am I you this?" And I said, I'm like, okay. I said, it's obvious you don't know biology because I'm his mother and I've never seen you before in my life. Like this. What? English lady? Am I you this? That's our first meeting, okay? A couple of days later, he's on my phone. No, I've got to say this because when he said, "Go on to your mother," like that, my son came off his lap. And as he was coming towards me, I could see there's Bob Marley's face in the background there. My son, and they seem to just merge into one face. I'm like, what is going on here? Because he looks just like him. That's the first time I meet him. So I said to Jah at the time, I said it to him, I said, you say you're going to give me trouble in my life now because people going to believe says this man picked me, This. That was what I said to Jah straight. He was 2 years old. And believe me, up to a couple of days ago, I've had that. Wow, are you sure? There? Of course. If he was Bob Marley's child, the whole world, not just people on Earth, in Jupiter and Mars too, they would know. So yes, just to say briefly, and all the details are shown on the screen. Please link up. If you're in America, we work with Sister Elaine, that's Deborah Walters. She's our main distributor over there. But we're looking to widen that. So please just get in touch if you're interested. We have 16-month education calendar. It's unmissable. Speeches, announcements every day. We're talking about current news affairs, all of the Rastafari positive vibrations. We're only dealing with positive things happening in the Rastafari nation. And there's so much. There's so much. Ones would tend to think sometimes, you think, oh, it's not happening because you don't know. I mean, there's histories inside there. Look, I'm here at Kush Month, which, by the way, for 16 months. So we start in September of 1 year and we go all the way to December of the next year. So that's how you get the 16 months.
Well, lion voice, tell them that's the people first choice. Lion voice, make the lioness them feel nice. Lion voice, with the lion cubs we sacrifice. Lion voice, got to show the people them the life. Lion voice.
Greetings in that divine name of His Imperial Majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie I, glory and honor in the name of his chosen queen, Empress Menen. My name is Kwasi Bansu, aka the Chasmanch Kwasi, aka Ras Kwasi, aka the Reading Ras, aka the Pan-African Happy Man. I'm a creative industry attorney, I'm an author, I'm an artist, I'm an actionist, and right now I am the host of Lion Talk. Welcome to Lion Talk and welcome to the Lion Voice Network, where lions are telling our own story. Today we have a very exciting guest. I really am excited about this show. One of our elder matriarchs who has been on the battlefield from that time. We're gonna go deep in some history today, family. I just want the item, get your ital snacks. We are going from Jamaica. We are going to take a tradition into the UK. Then we are going to go into the mountains of Zion. We may touch over even in Ghana a little bit, and some of the other African countries. This queen is well traveled. We're going to really go into some serious history work personally with the Honorable Robert Nesta Marley. We can touch some of them story there too. This is one of those episodes, family. So as I say, if you have the smoothie, the ital snacks, whatever you can get right now is the time. Big Head Spliff, if that is what you need, make sure you have it. Before we get into the episode, let me just big up the Lion Pride we are growing. rapidly. We've never experienced growth like this on the channel. I really want to give thanks to the Lion Pride. If this is your first time watching, if you subscribe, you are part of the Lion Pride. And I have to big up the Lion Pride on Patreon. These are the ones who financially invest every month in keeping the lights on the channel, making sure that we are able to scale this operation. We want this to be a major network. We don't want to just stay on YouTube. So we give thanks to everyone who is supporting the platform to grow. Big up my Ubuntu Lion Pride, those who are giving contribution to I want to see some sister I want to see. And if you want to join the Ubuntu Lion Pride, that's contribution over $50 US currency. You would become part of the Ubuntu Lion Pride. You can see that we have the branding now. We are investing those resources to make the platform a better platform. Ras Tafari, independent, non-aligned media. I've said it to the item. We have to save ourselves. We have to invest in ourselves. We have to fund ourselves. And saying that, when I introduce our guest today, she has a calendar that needs support. So we're asking the Lion Pride, all of the family, to go to the website and support, purchase the calendar. Let us circulate the Rastafari dollar. Let us show economic power. That is our commandment right now from Kalamawi. He said neocolonialism has been brought with economic tools, and it's with economic tools that we will secure our liberation. So let I circulate the Rastafari dollar and support this powerful project. We do have Haile Selassie's Ethiopia, Rise of the Priestly Warrior Kings. I book is featured in the July month of the calendar, courtesy of this royal queen I'm going to introduce. So this is a true immunity work, and it's very important in terms of that connectivity and preserving culture, our Isla days, and information source. Very important piece of work for the community, centralization work. So I'm asking all of I family to make sure they purchase one, put it in the kitchen, on the fridge, somewhere there, so that you can have this cultural artifact, which has been going on for years, as part of your collection. All right, so let me take time and introduce our guest for today. Our guest has worked as an educator, book publisher, famous book, one of the most famous pieces of literature within Rastafari ever created. She was part of that's the Jah Hug magazine. Vivid imagery and pictures that sparked energy throughout the four corners of creation. That work. She has also worked as a music publisher extensively in the music industry. We'll touch some of that. That's my area, so I'm looking forward to that part there. She is also just an all-around battlefield angel. Her daughter is also a repatriate. We're going to have her daughter on this platform in Ghana. So she has done something to retain that second generation, which we're going to be, as the item know, the second generation, the retention and how we get the second generation to continue the mission is one of the central themes on this platform. So I want to ask the Lion Pride to help I to welcome one of our greats. History is written. This name shall be dear. Please bless I and welcome Mama Askale. Welcome Selassie. Welcome Mama Askale Selassie. Please, greetings, royal greetings.
Ras Tafari, Haile Selassie I, and I representing Empress Menen by his side. Yes, I give thanks, and it's an honor to be here to share with the ones, because we're all part of the one community of Lions Pride, and we are proud to be in that community. Come unity. Give thanks, give thanks.
Yes.
Yes, I.
Give thanks, give thanks. So, welcome to the platform. I want to, as customary, when we have someone of the high stature, we're gonna ask the eye to step into the Lion Voice time machine and take us to the moment of your birth. Where were you born? And please just give us your journey to Rastafari.
Aye. Yes, I give thanks, give much thanks. It's an honor. I was born in Jamaica, in a place called Octembedi. It's not actually on the map of Jamaica, but it's situated between three parishes: Trelawney, St. Elizabeth, and Manchester. And it's deep maroon country, this area. And that's where I was born. And I left soon after that, actually. I lived with my grandmother. My grandmother moved to Kingston. My mother emigrated to England. I went to live with my grandmother, who moved to Kingston, to some property that family had there. And I just lived a few years with her, but it was a grounding with my grandmother that really shaped my life forever, And I was born, grew up with my grandmother, and now I'm in my grandmother's state. So I have a greater understanding of that life, as it were, growing up, what to do, how to behave, and so on. Because you while you're experiencing that growing up, you don't actually think about yourself as a parent, as a grandparent. You're not thinking on those lines, but you surely do recall when it reached that time in your life, you have a memory. And if you have strong foundations, you'll always remember, the great things. Even this morning, I was teaching my granddaughter about her own personal thing. Like, I gave her a handbag when she was like 7. Okay. So when I gave the handbag to my daughters when they were 7 and 8, I also gave them the lesson of making sure that wherever you're going, you bring it with you. You'll have lots of them over the time, but you bring it with you as your personal thing, so you can put your personal items inside, and even be prepared to get money to put inside. Because when I said that, she laughed because she was holding a £10 note that I'd given her in her hand. I'm like, "Where's your handbag?" So it's just keeping certain let's say empowerment traditions,
Yes.
making sure. So I got that from my grandmother, growing up with my grandmother while my mother was in England. And then I joined her when I was 10 years old to England.
Okay.
So,
Were you in a Rastafari family?
No, I was brought up in a Seventh-day Adventist family. I later was saying that that, to be honest with you, our Seventh-day Adventist family background was also very strong for my Rastafari life, because as I say, we are the only two people calling, let's say from a religious perspective, who can eat at the same table. That's the overall. Especially it applies to, I would imagine, more the 12 tribe house and mansion, put it like that. Even though the foundation of Seventh-day Adventism is complete vegan, that was really the foundation, and that's how we grew, really, knowing how to eat non-meat, non-dairy foods, and stuff like that from as a child. So it became a habit. It became natural. So when we go through that phase where we change everything and we start living some other lives, where you want to maybe try things that you never had as a child, and then you have to come forward to that again. You have to come forward to the real, the best life things. Yes, give thanks.
So what was it like living in the UK as a young child, traveling from Jamaica? What was it like, and what year did you reach the UK?
I got here in the 60s, early 60s. And it was for me, I loved it. I'm sorry, but I have to say I'm sorry because a lot of people didn't. I loved being away from Jamaica, okay? The first thing that got me was this, okay, in Jamaica. In my family, I was not even known by my name too much because, especially in those days, it was very important what color, shade you were, in growing up. And even in my own family, I came with all the maroon things, whereas the rest of the family didn't have it, you see. No, my grandmother, when she told me the story later on, when I told her, when I asked about why people were prejudiced against me, she said, when you were 5, you asked me that question. She said, and I told you the same thing I'm telling you now when you're 10 years old. And that the question, the answer is, it's because you carry the wealth of the nation. That's why
Wow.
you will always have that. She said that you will always have that in your whole life. So it's good that you have it now in your family, she said, because the wider world is like that, So it's good for you to know how to experience it and to know how to appreciate love who you are, appreciate who you are. She told me, and so I arrived here in the UK, and it was just awesome because my first experience of school, even, you know, it was the 3 girls were I went to an all girls grammar school. My mom, she insisted, okay, so we had to go through a lot of interviews before getting to that school because she kept me at home. That was the school she wanted me to go to. It's an all girls grammar school, so she wanted me there. I was bright enough, she knew it, and it was all girls, which is what she wanted for me, and the system didn't seem to know that, but she was hell-bent on making sure that they did by keeping me at home until they would accept me. And it was all about some interviews to get into the school, So the first one, I was really shy because I was checking them out to see what it is they wanted from me, why I had to do this. So, But the second one, I was ready. And the third one was the last one. There was supposed to be a series of 6 interviews. But after the third one, I could see everyone was like, why is she here? because I learned early that the language that I will speak will be the language of the Queen. And it will be the language of the newsreader. Okay, there's only 2 people. The newsreader at the time and the Queen, because my mother was a very big fan of the Queen, so she used to listen to her speeches a lot. so I heard her tone, I like the tone that she had. Okay, I like that tone that she had, and that was it. That was the tone, and that was the newsreader, and that's how I went to my third interview, and I was really bold and excuse me, I'm sorry, but why am I here? And why do you need to know that? And and they're like, okay, let her in. she's confident because one of the things. Okay, so I might not have been brought up in a Ras Tafari family per se, but I was, because my own philosophy is that most people are Rastafarians, but they don't know. That's my personal philosophy, because I think most people want to be the best that they can possibly be, and the best good person that they can possibly be. So from that perspective, everyone is, but they don't know. So those who know, they live that good life. They are those good people. They shine that light. By whichever name they want to call it, because it's coming from within. Yeah. So my thing was this Marcus Garvey, my mother, she always told me this one thing from Marcus Garvey that she always drilled to me. She said, with confidence, you have won before you started. I don't know. Even today, I've checked the rest of the speech and the what follows after that. But that's the part that I remember. And that's the part that governed my life. With confidence, you've won before you started. That means, you're ready. You're ready to win, so that you can actually get through. So, yeah, when I arrived in school, it didn't surprise me that the girls the first question they asked me was, which country in Africa do you rule? Okay, that's my first question ever when I entered a public space in this country. So that was it. Everything is set. I nearly got beaten that night, because I went home. I said to the girls, oh, you definitely have to wait until tomorrow. I'm not answering you today. You have to wait until tomorrow. So you think about it. And because, of course, those girls, their parents had properties in Kenya, in Tanzania, and in Ghana. Their parents had properties or were, diplomats in these countries. So they knew, because they were going there for their summer holidays, or some of their summer holidays. So they knew what African people looked like, So they just immediately, it wasn't a put down. It was a rulership, you understand? Not what I was experiencing in Jamaica.
Wow.
So my immediate thing was, I went that night to the library. After school, I raced into the library, man. I went to study Africa, okay, because I wanted to choose which kingdom I ruled in. I'm telling you.
Well, great is the Almighty, and greatly to be praised in the city of Askale Selassie I, the mountain of His holiness.
Yeah, from Cape to Cairo, from Timbuktu to the Nile, the whole entire continent.
Beautiful for situation, the joy of the whole earth is Mount Zion, from Accra to Addis Ababa.
Yes, it's beautiful continent, better control, mama.
Very beautiful.
From Cape to Cairo, from Timbuktu to the Nile, I smile. From
I hear you call Mama Africa. Been so long since I seen Mama. Father of Africa set the law. The lion come and dismantle Babylon flaw. We gonna use solar energy, use sanitation to build the ecology. We utilizing green technology. We hailing Haile Selassie first without apology. And then we build the youth them economy. We dismantle Babylon monopoly. We teach the youth them how to live properly. Tell them make sure them got the title for them property.
yes, this beautiful continent, better control, mama. From Cape to Cairo, from Timbuktu to the Nile, I smile for mama.
I love you, mama, your heart never harden. I wanna turn all your slums into garden. I wanna stop all of your youths from starving. I wanna stop all of your tribes from warring. So much to say, so many feelings. We both been hurt, we both need healing. Since the League of Nations you've been appealing. You stand up against them backdoor dealing. I hear you call Mama Africa.
Been so long since I seen mama. Father of Africa set the law. The lion come and dismantle Babylon flaw. Then I hear you call mama Africa. Been so long in America. Father of Africa set the law. The lion come and dismantle Babylon flaw.
So be still, all enemies of Jah. Know that he's the King of Kings and Lord of Lords, the lion conqueror. And it was said of Ethiopia, the highest himself shall establish her. His majesty was born there.
And I know that I love you so. There's no place that I'd rather go. Tired of walking through slush and snow. Repatriation, that's a must I know.
Yes, into this beautiful continent. Mama.